So, for the time being, I am going to be stopping the Friday show. For the foreseeable future, I will only do WNBA Weeklies on Mondays. And I have no idea how long it'll last. Long story short, dealing with some shit in my personal life that's just making it hard to keep up 2 videos a week. And the Friday show, even though I'm managing to keep putting it up, it hasn't really been the quality that I want it to be. And so it doesn't seem like anyone would actually be that disappointed to not have that. Even though for some reason the Friday show is more watched than the Monday show. But whatever, y'all just have to deal with that. It's your own faults. I'm kidding. It's not your fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's just the way things are happening right now. So to try and keep this video under 20 minutes, and because I have character limits in the description when I upload this, I'm going to be just rearranging how I present the show. The format will basically stay the same. You might not get as much detailed information as I did in the past. It's going to be a lot more of an overview. Greetings and welcome to the Fan Perspective. I'm your host Nathan Nile, and this is WNBA Weekly, the show where now on Mondays only I will talk about everything that's happened in the past week and some of the things I'm looking forward to in the upcoming days. So let's take a quickie look at some of the biggest news from this weekend. On Friday you had the Dream beating the Fever, and then you had the Mercury beating the Stars, and then on Sunday you had the Dream beating the Wings and the Mercury beating the Liberty. So the Dream and the Mercury both had good weekends. And in case you hadn't noticed, I skipped Saturday. Why did I skip over Saturday? Because I want to talk about Saturday. Saturday was a night just full of upsets. You have probably the least surprising of them was the LA Sparks losing their second straight game. They went on the road against the Seattle Storm. And Seattle, despite their many struggles that they've had this year, they are one of the worst road teams in the league this season, but they are one of the best home teams in the league. And so playing this game at home, there was a duel between Stewie and Nneka. Both of them had 20-point games. Both of them, they came to play. But the supporting cast for Seattle did a lot more than LA supporting cast, and the Storm ended up winning that game. And then you have I'll save that one for last. First, we're going to talk about the Mystics. The Washington Mystics in the third quarter led by as many as 22 points, but the Connecticut Sun, they came roaring back in the fourth quarter, and they ended up winning by 4 points. And they've now won 4 straight. The Mystics have now lost 3 straight. The first time this year that they've lost to an Eastern Conference opponent, and now Connecticut takes first place in the Eastern Conference, 4th overall. And then, of course, the biggest game, you have the Minnesota Lynx losing to the Chicago Sky, which just, wow. Courtney Vandersloot had one of the best games of her career. She had season highs in every category as she led the team with 26 points, 13 assists, a new league high for the year. She also led the team with 7 rebounds. And the Chicago Sky, they win this game by 20 damn points. The 11 seed beats the number 1 seed by 20 points. That's unheard of, especially since it's the Lynx, their first road loss of the year, and it's the Sky's first home win of the year. I don't know if you saw my last video, but I said this would be like the second most shocking thing to ever happen. And of course, it happens. I mean, don't get me wrong, I am a huge fan of the Sky. They've got a lot of talent on their roster. They're capable of defeating any team in this league. But they've played so horribly all season that I struggle to have any faith in them at all. It's just one of those things. The Lynx, you expect them to win just about every single game. They're capable of losing, you just don't expect them to. Same thing with the Sky, same thing with San Antonio. You know that there's always a possibility that they could win, you just don't really expect it to happen. So after that wild weekend, here are your current standings. So as you can see, a few things have been shuffled around. The Sparks, they got that 8-game winning streak. They built up a little bit of a cushion. So even though they're on a 2-game losing streak right now, it's not the worst thing that could happen to them. If it turns into a 5-game losing streak, then holy shit, what the fuck happened? But as of right now, don't hit the panic button just yet. Meanwhile, you've got the Mystics somehow losing 3 games in a row, falling out of the top 4. Connecticut, 4 wins in a row, puts them into the bye week category. They're the only team from the Eastern Conference in the top 4 right now. The Mercury, they're up to number 3. They've been putting some wings together. Griner continuing to put her name in that category for MVP. She's just been playing tremendous on all ends of the floor. And This league is getting a lot more interesting because you've got every team beating each other now. It's getting so much more competitive. So with that in mind, let's look ahead to what's going on this week. I'm not going to go in depth with every single game that's going to be played because from day to day, details change. And you never know, I can't tell you right now how much of an impact Friday's games are going to have. So here are the things I'm looking at as of right now that seem like they'll be the most important. Also, every time that I mention will be Eastern Standard Time. So be sure to adjust for your time zone. You've got a couple of teams that are going to be facing each other twice this week. You've got the Wings who are going to be facing off against the Sky twice. You've got the Lynx who are going to be facing off twice against the Mercury. You've also got teams like the Storm, the Sparks, the Liberty. They're at home all week. And then you've also got the Dream and the Mystics who have nothing but road games for the next 7 days. I mean, they've only got 2 games each, but still, all 4 of those contests are road games, so. Speaking of Washington, both of their games are not only on the road, but against Eastern Conference opponents, the Fever and the Liberty. And before Saturday's loss, the Mystics had been 7-0 against the Eastern Conference. So even though both games are on the road, this is still a chance. The Mystics, the worst case scenario, they end up with 5 straight losses, which is horrible. But if they can win both of these games, they're still keeping pace with the Sun, if not overtaking them. Because Connecticut, not necessarily the easiest week. They've got 3 games, all of them against the Western Conference, but one of those is against the Stars, so. But the other 2, they're on the road on consecutive nights. First against the Seattle Storm, then against the LA Sparks. Both of those teams are top 4 when it comes to winning percentage at home. So, Connecticut's going to be tested this week. Will they be able to hold on to their top 4 standing? And are they going to be able to keep a hold on that bye week, put some more space between them and the bottom half of that playoff standings? Or are they going to come back to earth a little bit more? Also, I don't know if this is going to be a regular thing, but I'm just going to point out a couple of players that I've noticed. Kelsey Plum, her play has been improving. It took her a while. First she got injured, and then it took her a while to adjust and get into the swing of things. But her numbers have been steadily improving, so I'm happy about that. I can't say that the future's so bright that I have to wear shades, but at least it's not raining anymore. There's still plenty of cloud cover, but the sun does exist somewhere up there. Also, Elizabeth Williams putting her name in for Defensive Player of the Year. She's had 3 straight games with at least 5 blocks, and she's getting her hands in there, so getting a lot of steals. I mean, she still has to compete with Griner, because Griner out there just doing the damn thing, but still, she's definitely started getting my attention more. Also, I don't know if you know about this, but the All-Star game is coming up pretty soon. It's a couple of weeks away, which means I have to start doing my mid-season power rankings, which I have yet to work on at all. Also, I completely forgot to tell you which games are being broadcast. You've got 2 Twitter games. You've got the Wings versus the Sky on Wednesday. You've got the Lynx versus the Mercury on Friday. You've also got a Saturday night game. There's only 1 game on Saturday. It's on NBA TV. And 2 of the 4 Sunday games are going to be on NBA TV. So yeah, this is the brand new reinvented WNBA Weekly. Still got some kinks to work out. You have no idea how long this actually is, how long I've actually been standing here in front of this camera. Long story short, it's 1 full episode of Hey Arnold. No idea how much it'll be when I actually edit it down. Well, anyways, that's it for this episode. Tune in on Monday for the next edition. And until then, this has been the Fan Perspective. I'm your host, Nathan Lau. Hope you have a great week.